ARSJ, we entertain. We're family. Come catch the vibe.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Nice to meet you. Well, virtually.
I know, nice to meet you too. I'm so excited for this chat.
Yes, absolutely. So pronounce your name. Is it Janelle?
Janelle, yeah, perfect.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm Maya. Nice to meet you.
I go by Joe though.
Okay, Joe, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Maya Prince, but go by Maya. I have no way to nickname myself. I've never had a nickname.
Well, you go by Maya J for your artistry. Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's
Maya
talk
J.
about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, I kind of did a post about it recently, but I'm actually going to do something more formal. But I actually just officially went in. I'm like in the process of doing like a name change. So my actual like name is Maya J. Like that's my born given name, but I've kind of just been learning really from my first music drop the importance of just like trademark and just like all of those things. And just basically, yeah, I kind of ran into like a little situation and just decided just to take the high road on it. I probably could have gone into it more, but I just decided, yeah, to kind of just embrace a new change and evolvement. I'm really into like evolving. That's kind of like my purpose in my journey always. So I kind of, yeah, I now go by Maya Prince officially.
Aw, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
who you are as well. It's
Yeah.
okay to shift at any time.
Right. And it was actually really it was really cool. I was talking to my older siblings about it because I'm like the second youngest of like seven. And I don't know, it just was really cool to like get the feedback. They were like, yeah, you should use that name. Like, why not? And I don't know. I've always been kind of like I've always loved that I've always been kind of like an independent, free spirit in that sense of just really wanting to create my own, really wanting to just define myself for who I am and just nothing really other than that. Um, but it's really cool because through this evolvement, I'm realizing that it's not necessarily, I feel like I almost was like running from my reality, like my truth.
Wow.
You know?
Hmm.
So it was really cool to do this name change because it was almost like I'm truly showing my gratitude that I've always had, but just just really like stepping into myself. Like, yes, I am Maya Prince. Yes, that is my name.
Why do you think it was that you were running away from that reality?
um, I definitely have to say that just kind of going back to me feeling like sorry me feeling like I'm just like a super free spirit, always have been one to just I don't know, I guess you could say just one that always wants to go and I don't know, just kind of make something for myself, always have been like an independent creator in that right. And I've always really found great satisfaction from just really I don't know like embodying this independence almost like within my creativity within myself, always been one to dress like myself, like I don't know, like I really feel like I strive in just like my originality. So I wouldn't say like I feel like I realized that I was running, but then I realized in that weird way, like maybe I don't know, like I found compassion about that running and understood that it wasn't necessarily from something like bad. It was more so just me like really being
You
original.
wanted to create your own lane, your own path.
Yeah, like literally in a nutshell, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
No, and that's why I was so excited to interview you, just to hear your take on your background, but the lane you're creating for yourself. Like you're so free spirited and you're so
Yeah.
expressive.
Yes, and in every way, I've always been this way since like the age of 4. I've always had something to say. I've always been a writer in that way. And when I really first learned how to like write my first poems, my mom was actually a theater major, in school, but she went on to be like an attorney. But it was just really cool that she was one of the first people that really encouraged my writing. She would just like, her and my dad, they would like give me like topics and be like, hey, go see what you come up with, like come back. And I started like writing poems, and then eventually I realized that songs were poems. So I was like, oh, like, and I was always one in terms of music, I would always think of the melody before the lyrics. Like I always like hear a tune or something in my head before I actually even begin writing words. So it was really cool being able to like join those sort of forces within myself. Like I love writing poetry, but being able to like finally like find like the connection between like, hey, these melodies and these poems in my that I write could actually be something cool.
So what were those early experiences like, and what was the transition from poetry to music?
I would definitely have to say I would just write. I've always been a writer. I've always written to express myself. I was named after Maya Angelou actually. And
Wow.
yeah, and it was like very inspirational. I think at the age of 5, she actually came to Houston and did like this really cool like sit down at a community college. My mom knew the director that was over it, and she had sent me these books, and she had autographed it, and she had said something along the lines of like, you're a writer, like continue writing, be the best you can be. And I don't know, it was just something about receiving that from her really sparked my interest to, I've always been like obsessed with learning stuff. So I just really went, it was just like, whoa, she noticed me. And so I just like dove into her writings, and I just fell in love with the expression of self. And that wasn't really something I could do verbally growing up. Like verbally express. I could really, I would like dress certain ways to like identify my mood, and I would do certain things, and writing poetry, writing almost in some sort of encrypted way, was really therapeutic for me. And then since the age of 7, actually was like a professional actor. So yeah, I performed in like all major theaters in Houston. I was on Nickelodeon, Disney, like
Wow.
yeah, I did like all of that. I was like a childhood actor. And so I realized when I was 7, I actually had an audition for Pinocchio, and and they asked me to sing. And I sang, and normally my family would be gassing me up like, okay, you know, sing, okay. But so it was really, really like when I heard like a stranger almost say like, and they were just like, well, like you actually have a beautiful voice. That's when I started, I almost like got some sort of validation in that moment, just to like keep going and trying. And I was always a performer, so I was always like on stage on the fireplace doing stuff. But it really, I think at that moment I said to myself, hey, like I think this is my purpose. Like at 7, literally, like, some people like kind of, I feel like in music, I hear a lot recently, like, oh, I just started singing. I was all, like I've literally since like the age of 7 have been just knowing exactly what I wanted to do. So yeah.
So you love singing. Do you think you'll ever go back down the lane of acting? Are you doing anything in that realm now, or?
Yeah, so this is actually something that not many people don't know. Acting is my first love. It will forever be. I think that I actually identify myself as an actress that sings. But I think just the way that life has gone, people just see me as this singer. And actually, this year, I really have a great relationship with just like a production team that I've developed, Proper Creative in Houston. They've kind of helped me along the lines of executive production, and just partnering with me and my creative directors and team to do not only music videos, but we're actually getting in the process of doing my own sort of like sketch comedy show. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Are you involved in the writing of that or anything, or?
yeah, so I'm pretty much involved in all creative direction and writing is from me, and I have a creative director in-house though, on my team. He actually is one of my best friends since I was like in 6th grade. Uh, and I chose him because I think I realized that I'm one that authentically loves to create. You know, I don't necessarily create for the trend. I don't necessarily look at like algorithms and I'm like, okay, this is what I need to like cater to. This is like a very therapeutic and healing process when I create. And I try to be as authentic as possible. And sometimes, just through life, I feel like you may not necessarily carry things or remember things. So it's really awesome to just be able to like piggyback these like very vivacious ideas to my best friend, literally, and he will remind me like, oh my God, you remember like, it's always good, I feel like, to have a genuine observer in your life that can really tell you about yourself or just certain things. And we just always have had these beautiful experiences, sometimes learning lessons that are just hilarious as we grow older and we can talk about. It's just really good and almost therapeutic for both of us to like create these things for the mass, you know?
Well, that's good. I'm a writer as well, so I'm so excited hearing you talking about the creative process.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what do you write?
I just finished a screenplay and I write poetry as well. I want to publish in poetry books, so that's something I'm looking to do.
Yes, and I started, so my life kind of sped up really quick. I started like right after high school and kind of got a really cool gig songwriting with like a label. And then I became like an independent writer and like everything just kind of like took off. And so I found myself now in this place where I'm just really getting back to the basics of like learning things that I feel like I kind of learned within the industry, but I feel like I don't know. I just have I really have a passion to learn, so I decided to like enroll myself in like some classes again and it just made me, I don't know, like you just saying you're a Spelman grad. I'm just like, dude, goals. Like I I
You
really
could definitely. And now with things being different, you may not even have to be in Atlanta to do so. You can take classes. I know
yeah,
Morehouse has an option because I took journalism classes there to take
really.
online classes. So we're pushing for that now.
Yes, like my fingers are crossed. I've been taking classes just at Texas Southern, and yeah, I've been, smashing it. And I just kind of feel like it's really funny when I got your message, I had written on like a vision board. I was like, yeah, like take classes at Spelman. I don't know. Just
Wow.
everything, just kind of putting like just manifesting, putting everything out there that I want to do. I always do that every year. I try to put the most like just like out just huge, kind of like just the most incredibly huge ideas I could ever think of myself doing, and to me at least. And then um yeah, just really work and strive. And then what I'll do is I'll do the main idea and then I'll break it down to like mini like goals that essentially like help me reach that main goal.
Well, talking to me is a start because I'll definitely encourage you. And if you want to do it, you can do it. It's all up to you. You know you can. It's
Appreciate it.
just also up to you if you want to live in Atlanta. So I don't know how that would work.
Yeah. I've actually been thinking about just kind of where I feel like I'm at in the city I feel good. I think that I've kind of been able to make a pretty solid stamp for myself, especially within the entertainment scene in Houston. Kind of feel like I'm like on the front lines almost, like as people like enter the city and kind of get to know the music scene of Houston. Feels really good to kind of make, just that stable for myself in the community. But I'm a wanderer. I'm an Aquarius. I'm
Me
all
too.
yes. Oh, you're an Aquarius?
My birthday's on Wednesday.
What? Oh, happy birthday. Yes, absolutely. I love that. Oh my God, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's why the connection is.
it's here. We're here. We're here.
When's your birthday?
I love, huh?
When's your birthday?
January 28th. Yeah.
It's like J. Cole.
Yeah, literally.
The
It's always
coolest people are Aquarius.
Bro, yeah. Like literally, my birthday is the day before Oprah Winfrey, the day after Michael Jordan, and J. Cole and I share the same birthday. So I'm just like, I don't know. We're just great. We're just great people.
Right.
But no, so you understand, like I seek to adventure, I seek for new changes, and I've always been this way. My hands are never in one pot. So I have a community in LA, New York, Houston. I'm always like, and I have my eyes set for Europe and Atlanta and like just other places. I just try to be, I don't know, I've just always been that way. Just always tried to like touch as many places as I can and just meet new people, experiences. So yeah.
Good, because you're not limiting yourself. You can literally do anything. That's why I said with the Spelman thing, if you really want it, that's something you just go out and grab it. You'll get it.
Literally, I'm just learning that, like the power of really manifesting something. And it's really about really just the strength of the mind. I think that our greatest battle in life is really conquering to control our mind, because I mean naturally so it roams, and just to be consciously aware and sometimes being able to step outside of yourself and be an observer is something I feel like has been my greatest strength that I've learned in maneuvering through my creative journey in life as well. So yeah, I've realized like it truly is up to me. Whatever I want to do, I can make happen. So yeah,
Right.
I definitely believe in that.
So you mentioned you kind of have a handle on the Houston music scene and the industry. How is it navigating?
It's good. It's going really good. I think definitely the new world order and change that's happened has kind of forced creatives, especially in just the creative scene in Houston, to really evolve and be creative, like really, really tap into their creativity. It's not just your same old open mics and shows around town anymore that you can capitalize off of. You really have to kind of go within yourself in your bag and really think about ways to monetize your art and just really like operating, I feel like on a high level. I feel like that's kind of where I've been able, and I feel very proud to be able to be one of I don't want to say few, but just a select number of creatives in Houston that are able to because one thing about Houston, and I love my city. I love the creative scene here, but I feel like sometimes we're almost like the nerdy kid that like finally became cool, right? Like we're gaining this sort of traction and clout, almost you could say, right? This popularity. And sometimes when that kid does that, there's two things that'll happen. I feel like either the kid will like try to join with the masses now that they're cool and operate off of like what they see in other big places that I've been on, or they'll just keep going on what makes them original and what made them cool. It may have taken a while, but hey, it's lasted. I stayed steady to what I do, and I finally, gained some recognition for it. So I feel like it's like a split here. I feel like a lot of artists are going with what they see done in LA and New York, and they're just trying to like kind of like embody that and just in that safe lane and route, kind of going off of the rat race, right? They just join the rat race. But then I feel like there are those, and I kind of put myself in this category, that are saying, hey, like, yeah, we're finally getting what we deserve, like some sort of recognition. Let me show you, like, let me keep evolving off of what I've done, because you've been creating in an original and authentic place. You know what I mean? And so I feel like for me, I have a big project right now that I've incorporated into my brand. Not only am I a singer, but I'm really into tech and like immersive tech as well. So there's this really awesome thing called augmented reality, AR. And I'm actually in the process of creating an interactive, like almost like museum exhibit that showcases my music brand through augmented reality. And augmented reality is literally, I see like a picture of a African brown queen with a fro
Mm-hmm.
and the crown on. So essentially what would happen would be you would go into the exhibit, right? Let's just say That's my logo for the Maya J brand. You go up and you would literally just put your camera on that particular image, on that photo, and the photo would literally in live motion start moving and create, and you would hear my song. And literally as you go through the exhibit, you'll just start seeing things that are maybe tied to my 5-song EP. That includes like visuals for everything. You'll probably see like a car from the video that's like literally in live motion, like AR, and you'll see it moving in the space. So I really, I really try to think of ways that I could really incorporate. It almost reminds me of the melody and the poetry, like just putting things that I really like tech and music now, just evolving that idea even more, that connection, that formula almost, just putting those things together. And so, yeah, and I feel like that could go anywhere. Like I could send that exhibit to Atlanta, I could send that exhibit to New York, and literally people from there, all the museum has to, and I feel like it's, it almost plays into the times now. It's social distancing. You're not really, like immersive into really any contact per se. And you're still getting, I feel, a quality, high level experience of someone's art rather than like a virtual concert on your phone, or something like that.
Are you the creative mind behind that concept?
I am. I actually came up with that concept when I was visiting one of my best friends in San Francisco. Um, I randomly was just like, I love to go to new places and just get lost and go to different museums. And I was actually headed to a museum that I found in the city. And I ran into this museum called the Museum of African Diaspora in San Francisco. And so when I went into there, there was an exhibit called Digitalia going on. And so I went in and, just out of curiosity, it's like, okay, cool, check this out. And the lady was like, yeah, just download this app and it'll basically the artwork will be immersive, like you can interact with it and all these things. I, at the time, was just like, I don't want to download anything on my phone. So I just started going through and she was like, hey, she like stops me as I begin. She's like, I really think you should try to just download the app and just see what happens. And I was like, all right, whatever. And when I tell you, it was the most groundbreaking thing I had ever seen. This museum, I saw it in 2017. And this exhibit I saw in 2017. And I literally walked out of the museum and I called my best friend and I was like, look, I will meet you at the top with your lunch. But sis, I found what I'm about to come. I found out how I will drop my music because I always delayed my drops because I was like, I was like, it's just not me. Like me just dropping it is just knowing how I am. Like I'm like going back to the originality, like kind of almost like not obsessing over it, but just genuinely feeling like I need to own up to this. This is who I am, you know? I was just like, yo, I figured it out. Like I found what I can do. And literally I did a drop, my first drop ever in my first single Technicolor. I dropped it last year and I actually was able to partner with a Black owned AR company called GoXR. Yeah, they're located in Miami. Shout out to Michael and Kristen. So literally there's a couple as well. They literally helped me come up with an AR version of the single cover. And you'll see it, like you can see it on my Instagram page. It was like its first of its kind, like and they were even blown away by it as well, because mostly it's like visual artists that capitalize off of that feature. But seeing like a musician actually showcase their music through AR was, yeah, I still haven't really seen anyone. And I just got actually the app that did the launch in San Francisco. I pitched them the idea and they actually are down to help sponsor my exhibit. So
wow.
Yeah, so I'll by God's grace be coming out with that this year.
When are you thinking?
Definitely the second half of the year, like after the like kind of like late summer, like going into the fall. yeah, just like around that time. We're right now, my biggest focus, and like I said, like I have like main ideas and main goals, and I kind of break it up into like miniature goals that I need to do first. So right now my biggest focus is releasing the music for my EP. So I'm about to drop a 5 song EP, and it has 5 visuals included. So my second single is going to drop, and then I'm planning on, I'm still kind of deciding if I want to just drop it all on y'all, or if I want to give it one more single and drop the whole thing. I don't know just yet. But yeah, each song will have a visual to it. And yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be so much fun. We just wrapped up the second one, the second edits. So I'm really excited about that.
The inspiration for this EP.
It's definitely, do you hear this? Like, do you hear
Yeah,
that?
it's okay.
I'm sorry, but it's literally my introduction, just truly like an introduction of who I am and myself. Like literally, I've never released like a body of work. I've always kind of helped others, and I've done like features, or like I just dropped my first single last year. So this is a really big deal for me to like finally be able to release like a body of work in totality. This is my basically introduction.
So for people who don't know, what is your background in music?
It is definitely my life. I've pretty much started, like I said, performing and singing at the age of like 7, professionally. I have it all really starts back to a theater background. Started in theater, transitioned into musical theater. I went to a performing arts school in Houston, Texas, High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. I was a musical theater major there. And pretty much from there, I became a songwriter for a label at the age of like 19. And I was an independent contractor and an independent writer from there on to probably around like 21. And I think around 21 is when I started to really understand the shift in what I wanted to do with my music. I knew that um, I liked being a catalyst for other artists, but I think that I knew I had to do it for myself. But I think it was just understanding that what I was coming out with was almost like non-existent. So you kind of sit with yourself like, okay, I'm not seeing this anywhere. Like, I guess I'll go on the journey of understanding how to make something that doesn't exist a reality. So like from that, I was able to really kind of create this, and I call it Afro-futurism. So it's just a blend of like soul, funk, and pop, like all kind of like mixed together. And I really thank my dad for that. I come from a long line of originality in terms of like entertainment and music. My dad created the first independent rap label in the South that, quite frankly, really and truly put the South on the map for music and entertainment to really be successful, especially in the hip hop and rap industry. Um, and so he kind of, just hearing his stories and his life. And I was really, really happy when he came out with his book, The Art and Science of Respect, because it really showed others kind of like what I was privy to my whole life, kind of hearing these stories of creating something that doesn't naturally exist. You're going to get pushback. You're going to get people that don't understand. You're going to get discouraged within yourself. You're going to feel like, what the hell am I doing right now? Like, will this ever be a reality almost? So I thank him a lot for just me being an observer and hearing those stories, taking them in and understanding when I was faced with kind of those same sort of adversities, how to really maneuver through them successfully.
So what would you say is the greatest piece of advice your dad has given you?
Gratitude. Gratitude. Gratitude is by far one of the greatest things my dad um, has ever shown me and instilled in me is gratitude. I feel like because I have gratitude, I'm never seeking. And so when you're not desperately seeking, when you're not seeking always in that way, in that light, right? Like trying to seek for fulfillment or validation, or something greater than what's kind of your reality and your present. The things of like desperation or kind of just doing something just to do it for attention or just those sort of things, I've never felt an urge to really fall into that lane in every way of my life, because I have always been able to really stop and center myself and just have gratitude, have a lot of gratitude, and understanding also with gratitude that, um, the truth of time, in that time is merely just a thought within itself, as fear is as well, just truly like a thought within itself. And I feel like when you are able to master those things, you understand that I can take my time. I can create timeless things no matter really how long it takes. Like if I truly believe in something, you know what I mean? And I have that sort of gratitude within it, it's gonna always blossom. It's gonna always manifest.
No, you're definitely a humble spirit. I felt comfortable talking to you. So I was
Oh,
like, this interview is gonna be interesting.
thank you so much. Wow, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, then it's funny that you say that. I've been really, I've always kind of had this humbleness about myself. I think this year I told myself that it's not that I would necessarily abandon that, but almost like the gratitude, like really like stepping into that light. I realized that sometimes I don't know, sometimes I'm like, it's like I'm being humble, but like sometimes I would really water myself down almost. Like, and I'm learning really this year, like at 27, that it's, I don't know, like adopting this sense of gratitude more and more. I'm seeing that, yeah, like it's like a humble truth. Like it's just this is my truth. Like I don't have to like be this I don't have to like act like nothing matters or nothing I've done is cool, like I was really, really bad at doing that. I would always be like, oh, yes,
So does
just
it come from fear or does it come from lack of confidence?
um honestly, it just comes from wanting to keep others comfortable. Like literally, like shielding I know my greatness, almost shielding it for the comfort of others.
Hmm.
Really, that's what it is. And I just had to realize that, why are you doing that to yourself? Like,
Mhm.
that's what makes you you, you know? And when I adopted the gratitude for myself, realized that I was doing a grave disservice to myself of just really pretending that I didn't have these great experiences in very uh, influential life. I'm very, very, very grateful, for my childhood and my experiences in life. And no, they were not perfect, but they were almost imperfectly perfect for who I am now. Yeah, for sure.
So how about Jay's Jewels, your series?
Yeah. Actually, I'm bringing that back 2.0, coming out very soon in the next few weeks, actually. Jay's Jewels was actually birthed last year. Um, so I was in a relationship and it went south. And I think after that relationship, though, it was the first relationship that I left it and I wasn't like, gotta get out of that shit. It was like, it was really like, what could I have done? You know, because it wasn't a bad, he wasn't a bad guy. It wasn't like a, really wasn't even a bad situation. Like still, you know, to this day, it's all love. But I think in that moment, I realized that there was a lot within myself that I was shielding that I wasn't really stepping into. And it was causing me to break down literally in my personal life. Like I was like literally just like mantling because I was not creating on the level that I saw myself internally to be. It was like subconsciously it was like happening. And so I think after that situation, after, you know, that experience, the breakup, I went like 90 days. I wrote every single day. I rode my bike for 100 days. I was on like this extreme vegan diet. And I mean, to this day, I only really cook plant-based at home. So that's a fun fact. But I literally just kind of went into this very disciplined mode, kind of going off of the Wim Hof method, just like really exerting myself, my energy, and then documenting what happened. And it was incredible. At the end of it, I I was doing a meditation and I just kind of kept thinking of like Jules, like this is like a gym. This is like all these things that I've kind of been documenting about myself are like literally jewels, like literally. And so creatively, I just kind of started buzzing more into that thought in the meditation. And I'm like, huh, okay, like these are jewels and I could give these jewels away. Oh my God. I could literally like share like my healing experience and my journey through these like series. And I'm always one that I don't know necessarily, I like encrypted things. I like things where it kind of gives the viewer its own, like you take what you want from it. I'm not gonna just give you like what you want, what you need to like take from this. I just give you my experience. I tell you what happened. I talk about it, and honestly, like, you know, you take it for what it is. You create the gem on you know, you kind of identify with the jewel within yourself from this episode. So Jay's Jewels was really a gift to my followers and the people that have always supported me, and really kind of showing them something I feel like they've all wanted, is that vulnerability, that piece of Maya that is really just raw and just authentic, just showing my healing journey and hoping that it heals others.
That's good. That's awesome. So when can fans expect 2.0?
2.0 is definitely, I would say it's gonna come out next month.
That's
Comes out,
soon.
comes out
So
next
you've
month.
been working on it for a while.
Yeah.
Just
So
planning to drop it.
yeah. So I'm doing. I've decided to do it a little different. I think now I feel like, and I think that this will be the beauty of Jay's Jewels. Jay's Jewels will always be like an evolution. So Jay's Jewels last year was Maya's healing journey, right? So I think now Jay's Jewels 2.0 2021 is Maya getting into back to the music. So that was really a big thing for me this year, being very intentional about not only um, like creating and recording and coming out with all these things, but doing like live sessions with people, like doing live sessions with musicians, and doing acoustic versions of songs that I'm going to be dropping, and doing certain covers, and really just in that moment like expressing, you know, why I chose these things, expressing kind of like the meaning of certain songs to me that have helped me, why I chose to arrange it the way that I did. So and just kind of learning, almost like expressing in this way how music is my refuge. Because I kind of, you know, like last year was like the cooking, the biking, the yoga, the skateboarding, all that. So now it's more like what music really means to me.
So how would you say your creative process has changed during the pandemic?
Well, uh, it honestly upgraded. It upgraded because I realized that it was almost like the veil was lifted on the world, our government, everything, right? You learn that a lot of people aren't really doing what it isn't actually as hyped up and as what, people have made it out to be, all this stuff, right? It's not all superior. So I think when I realized that, when I saw that across the board, I said to myself, "Oh, okay." So I think I used to always kind of get caught up in time, and so I would kind of like rush my creative process. But I think now I've been able to organize, like, through that 90-day like period. Like, I really organized like a set creative schedule. So like every Thursday I shoot. um Tuesdays and Wednesdays I have my creative meetings with my team. It's just, I've been able to organize my creative process, which has elevated it in like many ways. Like, even the people on my team always are like, "Thank you, Maya. Thank you for giving us a month in advance notice. Thank you for telling us what we're doing for the next 3 months." It's like, it makes me feel good too, because it's like, yeah, like I feel good. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I know my plan. I know my plan. So yeah, it's actually upgraded. And I think just truly by organizing my thoughts, being able to just knowing that like everybody's taking it slow. Everybody's taking their time. Everybody's trying to figure it out as well. So that's been like my process as the pandemic has come.
So I have one last question for you. If there was one artist you could open up for, who would it be?
IMDb.
Why?
IMDb embodies the authentic genuity that I love in artistry. She has like an urban jazz feel. She's literally just singing, rapping, literally freestyling over these incredibly melodic, kind of like lo-fi hip hop jazz. And I think even in her videos, it's just literally authentically her. Her budget. I mean, I know now she's like come out with some incredible stuff, but literally from the beginning, it was just like her in like a garden, just walk her with her friends, like her just really just being herself. And I think that I've always really loved that about her. And I think that I love that she's kind of in this niche of like success. Like, she's very successful, but she still has this sort of humanistic value about herself. It's not like this superstardom of like, and not saying that she doesn't have the potential to go there. She certainly does. I just think that I love that she can still pack out a stadium, and it's like every race, every kind of person you can imagine, the most hip hop head to the most indie chick in the room. It's like literally like the fan base, like it's such a melting pot of people all in one space, like just raging for this Black woman. It just blows my mind every time. And that's something that I really strive for my music. A lot of people try to like box me to be like, okay, like Erykah Badu, okay, so you like, oh, like Lauryn Hill, okay, so you on that like scissor type. Like, no, like I genuinely make music for like healing purposes, like for people, not for a certain like race, not for a certain this or that. Like, it's really a global mindset. So I really, and she's from London and it's lit. And I really just think that Europe is calling me. So I really want to, yeah, I just want to think that we would have the latest show ever. I have dreams about it.
Well, you should reach out and see where it goes. You never know. You never know. Like even with this interview, you never know unless you ask. And all she can say is yes or no. You never.
Literally, I am dropping, once this project comes out, I'm gonna be like, hey, Joe, what do we talk about? Because
No, seriously, we have to do this periodically.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Please. I love this. I love this so much. I love what you're doing. I love even the questions that you asked. Normally get just asked like basic.
Straight off the dome. Came
Yeah.
with these a few days ago. Once you confirm the time.
Yes. I love it. I love that authenticity. I'm all about that. All day, girl. All day. Keep it coming.
So I just need you to drop your socials and where can people watch Jay's Jewels and find you otherwise.
Yes. So my name is Maya Prince. The Maya Prince is my Instagram. That's TheMayaPrince. And you can check out my Jay's Jewels. It's an incredible series about my life and healing journey that is on my social media, on my Instagram. You can also find me on Twitter at Maya_J, Jae. And you can also check out my latest single, Technicolor, on YouTube. That's where you'll see the incredible visual done by Proper Creative. Shout out to my guys, my team. And yeah, I think that's everything. Yes. Stay tuned for so much more. I'll be dropping my EP this year, as well as some incredibly fun new things. So stay tuned.
So thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Pleasure meeting you.